So, I'd like to thank our sponsors today, Roller Derby City. Thank you to the amazing folks at Roller Derby City for providing the gorgeous officials and volunteers t-shirts. RollerDerbyCity.com. And thanks to our colleagues at Derby Ducks sitting on the next desk to our right. Hi down there. And they're waving back. Bringing you all the action here through the MEQ 2018 broadcast feed. And there we go. Looks like the team's getting out there onto the tracks. It's going to be Panda and Princess Leher wearing the stars to start off this first jam. We do apologize for the scoreboard issues. There's some gremlins living in the stream. Gremlins living in between the stream and the holy cow lead jammer status right off the bat.
Not even able to finish your apologies there, Statman. Straight off, Panda racing up that inside line. Lead jammer Mannequin Beast starting very strong. However, Barrow started incredibly strong in their previous game. It didn't necessarily go in their favor. So Mannequin will need to keep some in the tanks, especially as they're running on a low rotation with players.
It was a good recycle job there by Barrow Infernos. Credit number 01 with the tap out. Number 28 with the recycle. That's Duke of York, number 01. Good recycle job there. Still lead jammer status, of course, for the Mannequin Beasts. So there are points on, just not on the board yet. And it's going to be 3 points for the Mannequin Beasts.
A very strong start for the visiting team. Well, I mean, they're both visiting teams, but they are visiting from the furthest away.
Strictly speaking, they're all visiting teams.
They are all visiting teams.
The hosts get
we're
one
all
game.
guests here. We are all guests.
3
very
points.
welcome
Clearly
guests as well.
demonstrated by the referee there on your screen.
Yep, just a couple of minutes sneaking away from us there. Very quick jam start. Not a full jam played out, so plenty of time to go. Points on the board for both sides. Got Trickle Threat now jamming for Mannequin Beast up against Roseblade for Barrow Infernos.
Roseblade, you cannot miss that amazing mane of hair, but Trick or Threat punching his way through, picking up lead.
Roseblade knocking out, taking the Mannequin Beast off one at a time, but picks up a cut penalty. So a power jam now in favor of Mannequin Beast.
So let's see how they set up their offense. It was a nice sweep out play, very well executed. And that's going to pick up a full 5 for Trick or Threat.
Strong play again from the Mannequin team here. Some good work there, holding back Chob.
Sorry, that was just a beautiful spin move.
Just saw there at the bottom of your screen, wonderful footwork by Trickle Threat.
That was beautiful, wasn't it? Now let's see how they're going to deal with this little 2-wall. Here comes the offense. This offense from the Mannequin Beast is just beautifully, simply executed, isn't it?
Very simple, very effective, and Barrow losing players every single time it happens. They're down to just 2 blockers now. We have got Roseblade back from the penalty box. Tries to knock Trickle Threat out on the outside line, but is unable to get him completely over the line. Oh, look at that balance work.
Well, Roseblade, they're playing a little, I'm going to have to say third blocker.
Yeah, additional blocker.
Yes, bonus blocker. Well, it looks like the penalty box is going to empty now. Final blocker on their feet, and that jam called off. 4 more points, 26. I think there's 4 more to go. Not positive.
I think they've just been sneaked on, so a 23-point jam.
That's right. 26 plays 0 right now. With, here's your instant replay. Watch this footwork.
Oh. that balance, just being able to bring the center of gravity back over the track. Beautiful play.
Now we've got Jardine against Hairtom Senna on the jammer line. Whoa, Hairtom Senna opening with a massive shoulder punch. 2 to beat. Meanwhile, Jardine trying to work through the back of the pack, trying to go through the meat of the pack. There is a forearms penalty.
It's a cut penalty for the purple jammer. He's just not picked up on it. So this is a power jam. Sorry, a forearms penalty. This is a power jam in favor of Barrow.
This is going to be a golden opportunity for Barrow to strike back, with a 26-point deficit after 2 jams. And let's see how they set up this offense here on the far corner. There's that lead for Barrow.
Yes, a nice sneak through the inside line for Jardine. Barrow team doing a good job just creating enough space for Jardine. Not doing a massive amount of jamming in the previous game, but certainly looking to come out strong now here for Barrow. And that's the first set of points going on the scoreboard for the Barrow Infernos.
Yeah, that's 5 up there. And they are still going. Barrow's coach signaling to just keep skating. Ooh, nice subtle defense there.
Just manages to upend
Yes.
Jardine.
I love this style where you're not throwing a heavy block. You just nudge him enough to throw the balance or to throw him out of bounds. Use that skater's own momentum against him. That jam is going to be called off. 2 more points for Barrow.
Which brings them to a total of 7 in this jam. 7 in total in the game so far as well. 7 playing 26. We've got 25 minutes and a few seconds left.
And we're going to have Panda against Princess Leia back on the jammer line.
This matchup that we've seen in the first jam went in favor of Panda.
Now look at this. Mannequin Beast setting up one offensive skater. Solid 3-wall on a pivot up the front. Try to throw a little disruptive offense. Ooh, beautiful takedown by number 01, Duke of York.
He had a stormer of a game, the first game up against Lincoln.
That was a great game, wasn't it?
Very strong from Lincoln, but as we said, not reflective of the score. Barrow were playing so strongly. You can see again, Duke of York once more taking down and managing to get the cut on Panda.
Wow, I almost thought it looked like he had blocked Panda through for lead there. But instead, Panda picking up that cut. This is going to be another power jam to Barrow.
He may have already picked up lead. The fact that he went off track afterwards and then returned back in front. So lead may have already been gone.
So we don't know if it's still open. This one could go the full 2 minutes. Princess Slayer now going all the way to the back. Nope, picking up a no pass, no penalty. And there's is that a direction of gameplay whistle? It's going to thin the herd a little bit. We have this nice digital penalty board thing, folks. It is really fun.
So
if you're a nerd.
No lead being issued to Princess Leia, which meant lead had already been given to Panda. Oh, closed down.
Tries to call it off, but of course not lead. It might have also been that no pass, no penalty picked up. Because there was one of those signals.
There was indeed, Statman, but it wasn't repeated once lead passed. So I would go with the fact that lead had been issued to Panda.
I think you're right. I think you're right. Holly knows things.
Oh, Princess Leia. Oh, my goodness. That is a strong hit, strong takedown.
Princess Slayer is going to take a second to get up.
Murdoch going back over just to double check. Princess Leia is up though. Princess Leia had picked up a penalty. I think this is going to be served by an alternate player.
I think you're right.
So his foot just dragged on the infield as he passed. So a cutting penalty has been issued to the Barrow Jammer. It should be number 6'9", Princess Leia. However, following that heavy hit, it may be recommended that an alternate skater is fielded.
Here, let's take another look at this up the outside line. There was that heavy takedown. I think you're right. Something went out of bounds. Something went out of bounds. It might have actually been in the initial contact, not later.
Yeah.
I think he ended up sitting down on the infield just for a second. Of course, sometimes as a skater, you do that and you're going, I hope nobody noticed.
If you can get away with it, get away with it.
Meantime, we are lining up now for this power jam. Score is 27 plays 10 in favor of the Mannequin Beasts. 7 minutes gone in the first half.
And indeed, we're going to have number 8-4 stand in for number 6'9".
Yes. And the trick or threat up on the jammer line, sponsored by Slick. Not just quick, Slick. And trick or threat trying to work his way, takes advantage of the out of play signal and picks up lead.
Does everybody just put their hands in the air? It's like some kind of dance off.
It's like they just don't care.
Wave them around.
I never understood that. Like, if I don't care, I'm probably not going to waste the effort to put my hands up.
I'm certainly not going to listen to you telling me to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So really good work here by Mannequin, just stretching that pack out, and trickle threat able to take off the defensive players one at a time, and he's so effective at doing that.
Absolutely. Trick or threat is a sleeper case in this tournament for a high-quality jammer. Probably wasn't on your radar coming in. Should be on your radar now.
Having seen him play for Team Belgium a few times as well,
true.
we know he's top of the game. He really, really plays out well for Mannequin Beast, settled into their style fantastically and very controlling within the pack.
Calls it off. He's going to put another 3 up on the board. 3, So it's going to be 39 plays 10 in favor of Barrow. Or in favor of Mannequin, I'm sorry.
Just change the score.
It's whatever.
It's more than whatever.
I have back-end access to the scoreboard.
Thank you for tuning in to the Men's European Qualifiers 2018. We're currently watching Mannequin Beast in purple up against Barrow in black. We will bring the scores and the times to you as they happen. Lead has been issued.
Or was it?
Oh no, it is a cut penalty.
That's tough.
Ooh. Cut
That's
issued
tough.
out to our jammer for Mannequin, which is Hertom Senna.
And this is a lockdown defense on Jardine. It's a beautiful braced 3-wall. A little bit of offense there for Jardine. It is a split pack. Now they are out of play. I don't think it's a no pack. The pack is rear.
It moved to split and then moved straight.
Oh!
That is heavy.
Jardine bringing the shoulders of pain.
That was a "you are not stopping me" move.
Sit down, son, as King Crazy would say.
Hertom Senna just taken to the infield, but now back on. His feet are moving faster than I can actually keep up with my eyes. He's very agile.
Hoping to get some help taking out the skater that took him out. Unfortunately, his teammates were a little bit busy playing defense of their own. So he's going to be forced to recycle. Takes the no pass, no penalty beautifully. Duke of York tried the recycle, but Hertom Senna was already past Duke of York. And now the jam called off. It'll be 3 more points.
Barrow managing to hold Mannequin to a 0 and break up 8 points of their own.
Here's a replay.
That big shoulder.
Watch his shoulder. Boom! So hard he took himself down with it. That's one of those that we need made into an animated GIF. That's just perfect.
And for those of you listening in the UK, that's a GIF.
Oh, shut up.
We're going to be seeing Roseblade up against Trickle Threat. Again, these jammers face off against each other in jam number 2, and the outcome with Trickle Threat getting lead are very similar.
Very
So,
similar.
In that previous jam, Trickle Threat put up 23 points on the scoreboard.
I believe that was a power jam as well.
Not in that jam, no.
No.
No, that was natural.
Wow.
23 to nothing. However, Roseblade is now broken out from the pack. Trickle Threat is currently on the infield, waiting to see.
Decided not to recycle.
Yeah.
Had picked up 2 and just said, yeah, I'm not going to fight.
Now, a lot of people would say, you know, at this time in the game, you probably want to be there and you're fighting for your dominance over the game. But again, we're looking at the numbers here.
The only reason I'm going to disagree with you there is because the skaters he had yet to pass were at the front of the pack.
Yeah.
So he was going to have to fight for the points he had already scored before he could score any more. I actually think that was a clever play.
Oh, absolutely, completely and utterly, especially with the team in the condition they are with the lower roster of skaters.
Yes.
But as I
No,
said,
that's a very
normally
good point,
you would
yeah.
be saying, go for it, fight for that.
Oh, yeah.
Get that initial early high lead. And we're seeing Nomad jamming for the first time in this game, but he had a very successful game up against Lincoln.
That spin move, though. Lead jammer status is going to Nomad, but Panda with a beautiful little pirouette on a toe stop. It is a match race like from the old days. Jam is called off. Nothing for the Mannequin Beasts and 2 for the Barrow Infernos.
Good race there by the Barrow jammer. Barrow now on 20 points, Mannequin staying on 41 points. And we have got 17 and a half minutes left in this half.
I love the word mannequin. It's a wonderful word.
Mannequin.
You know, there's a company called Blue Origin that are trying to develop their own spaceship. They're trying to develop a rocket that can launch tourists just up above the line that marks the edge of space, so that you can
Wow.
claim you've been to space, and then brings you down about 10 minutes later. So they've been testing it, right? So you test it with a dummy, right? Like a crash test dummy. But what's its name? Mannequin Skywalker. You can't beat a good Star Wars
That
pun
is
like that.
brilliant. That is brilliant. Almost as good as the Snow Gritters in
Yes.
the UK. If you're not sure what we're talking about, do Google Snow Gritters UK. Some of the councils have named their Snow Gritters,
Yes.
and they are incredibly inventive.
Such as Grit 1, Pearl 1.
Yeah. Itsy bitsy, teeny weeny,
Yellow anti-slip machine.
It's wonderful and awful at the same time.
I think it was all I wonder if it was all a result of Bodie McBoatface, that they went, you know what, people like the silly. Let's just embrace it.
We do like being daft.
Now, this game is also brought to us by the Men's Roller Derby Association. MEQ is hosted in conjunction with the MRDA, and we would like to thank them for their support this weekend. And keep in mind that the top 2 teams will be taking the final spaces at MRDA Champs, 12th to the 14th of October in Salem, Oregon, hosted by the MRDA and Bridgetown Roller Derby. You can tell this was written by a British person because they put Salem, USA.
There are
Do you know how many
Salems in the USA?
I've been to like 2, and none of them were Salem, Oregon. Right, we're just waiting for this official review to conclude.
I'd like to remind you,
There's a bear.
There is a bear. It's
For
not,
Barrow. It's
it's
the Barrow Bear.
Yes.
Ugh. Serious sport.
So we are just going to wait for the results of that official review.
I mean, everyone looks like they're chuckling about it, so it's always good when your official review ends with an in-joke. And in the meantime, we're going to have Princess Leia taking the jammer line against Trick or Threat. Matchup we've seen a few times before. And we're underway. And it looks like Barrow still playing this 3-1, or Barrow playing 4 defense. Mannequin Beast playing a 3-1, and it's a cutting penalty, and it's a power jam lead for the Mannequin Beasts.
Yeah, Princess Leia just trying to race up that inside line, just sliding out to pick up a cutting penalty.
And here comes the offense in the form of the Spaniard trying to carve a hole up the inside line. Doesn't open, but Trick or Threat is going to let the bodies hit the floor.
He's going to make his own gateway through that pack. Very strong, very agile, and certainly going in with plenty of power. A wiggly, wiggly hand signal means, hold back, I've got this.
I do love the cryptic signals from the jammer to the pack.
Oh, racing through that inside line.
That was great duck walk skating, wasn't it?
Brilliant work. Princess Leia out from the penalty box. Barrow just managing to field the mannequin defense to the outer field. But that jam called before Barrow can pick up any points.
So it's going to be 13 for the Mannequin Beast. There you go, 54 plays 20. We are 1/4 of the way through this contest, roughly. This next jam brought to you by Slick. Slick, not just quick.
Slick are part of the raffle prizes that you can win. We'll tell you more about the raffle in the next break.
Yes, we will. But right now, we have another jam underway, and it looks like Hair Tom Senna versus Roseblade. And Hair Tom Senna picking up lead. Mannequin Beasts are really controlling this game, aren't they?
Yeah, we've had 6 lead jams over 2 for Barrow so far.
Now, I was watching a game the other day. I'm trying to remember who it was. Can't for the life of me remember. But the team that won had fewer leads than the team that lost.
Wow.
It was just one team, when they got lead, would pick up 3, and the other team, when they got lead, would pick up 15.
Yes.
There you go. 56 plays 22, 2 points apiece on that jam. You see our track crew helpfully checking the track for us. Lovely group in Burgundy. And if you like Burgundy, you're in luck. because next game will feature the Manchester Roller Derby New Wheeled Order, who wear burgundy, and lead jammer status coming down for Trick or Threat.
Yep, Trick or Threat currently pulling a 1-in-2 rotation for the Mannequin Beasts. The other spot being filled by a couple of jammers.
Trick or Threat is introduced to Mr. Floorboard quite assertively.
Perhaps for the first time this game.
Boosh. Got silenced. It's nil point versus two.
Two to Barrow.
So 2 stolen by Barrow. Beautifully done.
That was just a good race up that to catch those points.
Princess Leia now against Herr Tom Senna. Herr Tom Senna storming up the outside like his name is El Nino and picking up lead. Ooh! Princess Slayer sitting a couple of bodies on the floor. And Mannequin Beast skater there returning the favor. That's number 62, Murdoch.
Oh. Murdoch tries to go in against Princess Slayer as well and is taken down to the ground. I think it was a hit to the shoulder.
That's what it looked like to me.
Well, that's how low Murdoch was getting. His shoulders were at hip height. That's some
Well, the
powerful
lower
getting
you
low.
get, exactly. The lower you get, the more leverage you can get, the more control you can get over an opponent. Oh, timeout called by the Mannequin Beasts. And this timeout is brought to you by, as promised, the raffle. So, the raffle, you can now, normally, right, at a roller derby tournament, the house announcers would be talking about the raffle, and the stream announcers would only mention the raffle if they made a mistake. Because normally, you have to buy a ticket in person. And they give you a little strip of tickets, and then tear them in half. You know the drill. But now, we have this wonderful thing called the internet.
What?
So you can buy raffle tickets online at NWOMEQraffle.Ficket, Fikket.com. And if you plug that in, you can buy raffle tickets online.
They are £2 a ticket. You're playing for the same prizes that are available here in the venue as well. We'll see some of the sponsors for those prizes come across on the ticker tape between the games and at halftime.
Yes.
But there are some fantastic prizes available. There really are, including from our Jamline sponsor, Slick, Not Just Quick. Bearings for any reason.
I'm gonna have to take them up on that. So we've got Nomad against Trick or Threat. Trick or Threat picking up lead. Nomad about 2 inches behind him, 4.5 centimeters. Oh! Classic match race takedown. And it's a cutting penalty. It's a cutting penalty. Holy cow. Did not expect to see that in a match race setting. So Trick or Threat now is the sole jammer of record in this jam.
Barrow have been split in half. They've just got 3 blockers available on track. Jardine able to get back up at the front, provides the last line of defense, but is unable to hold Trick or Threat.
Panda was hit down as the pivot looked like he knocked his coccyx or his pelvis on the floor. That one stings.
Yes.
That one stings.
As someone who has previously fractured their sacrum due to roller derby, I can tell you it does a little more than sting.
I'm sure. Trick or Threat gets through again. A little assistance from his friends who are now forming a formidable defense.
Yeah, considering Panda's taking that heavy hit,
Oh,
still
yeah.
going in with some fantastic play here. Good offense, good defense all round.
Yeah. That was a very good jam by Trick or Threat. I'm not actually sure he expected that cutting to occur. I think he was just thinking, I'll knock him out and hope for the best.
It's a delay tactic with the pack coming
Right.
back up. Yeah, I didn't see that coming either. So I think it might just have been purely due to the angles on the corner.
I think so.
Nomad thought he was just in the right place.
I think you're right. 72 plays 28 with 11 and a half minutes remaining in the first half.
Jamming for the first time this weekend for Barrow is the Duke of York.
He had 10,000 men.
See if he can get past 3.
Duke of York is working hard to get past those three.
And he has.
Crowd goes nuts for the Duke of York. And it's a power jam.
Oh,
Cutting penalty.
Herr Tom Senna very close to braking at the same time, but went around the outside lane.
Oh, it's a back blocking on the Duke of York.
We're going to have a switch up from the penalty box on those jammers. No, we're going to have... Oh, we are indeed, yeah. I thought
Yep.
it was an additional penalty being issued. It's not. It's gone to a different player.
That's right. But we are going to have a bit of a switcheroo. Looks like most of the penalty had already been served, so it won't be much of a switcheroo. But Herr Tom Senna, that was his third penalty. And that's the issue when you're running a short roster, is you don't think, oh, there have been loads of power jams. But those penalties add up very, very quickly when you're on a short rotation.
Yep, Herr Tom Senna is playing second jammer for Mannequin, so is on 1 in 4 at the moment. So 3
Oh,
penalties.
beautiful offense. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
It was just a perfect one-on-one sweep.
So as you said, Statman, so going on 3 penalties. He has been on 6 times so far.
Now that is not a stat that a coach would like to hear. Every other jam. Now, if Herr Tom Senna dials it in, he's already put up great scores, had some good jams. And this is a quality jam right here. It needs to dial in those penalties. Oh, beautiful 2-wall. Beer mat originally in Schaub, now Speedy rotating in. This is one of the things I like about Barrow is how quickly they can rotate blockers into those rolls.
Yep. They don't have very set sort of I'm the bracing position, I'm a back wall.
Right.
They're quite fluid and able to just rotate around as and when needed.
That's wonderful. Flexibility is such an asset in this game. Next jam brought to you by MRD. That's Manchester Roller Derby. And we'd like to thank our hosts, Manchester Roller Derby, for organizing MEQ. Here's another look. Bam! But that's a back block. And we have a team timeout called...
By Barrow.
Yes. And this team timeout, we'd like to thank the MB Events, who are our medics. They have a lovely tent in the... Well, you can't quite see it, but it's just beyond the upper left-hand corner of your screen. Northbridge Leisure Center, which is where we are, this lovely venue. And Niemann's, who are pat testing. I have no idea what I just said.
Niemann's.
What's pat testing?
Oh, the electrical equipment that we have here has to
Right.
be tested and certified for use.
Oh, does
So
it?
they have stepped in and tested all of our electrical equipment.
Oh, I didn't
for
know
this
you had to do
weekend.
that.
So pat testing. Yep, requirements by local council.
Oh, that makes sense.
So we've had that undertaken by Niemann's. Thank you very much for stepping in and
mean,
providing
that's-
all of the pat testing.
That's
for our
not a bad
equipment.
thing. You need that done.
We do. And
My
they-
neighbor almost set himself on fire trying to drive a nail into a wall a
Yeah,
week
don't
ago.
do that. Yeah.
You don't know where the electrical cables
Well,
run in the plaster, so he's
you-
driving this nail.
You kind of have equipment that can find that for you.
Yeah, who bothers with that?
People who don't want to be set on fire.
But it looked like it's just a reasonable section of wall.
Yeah.
And he started driving this nail, and all of a sudden sparks, and the nail shot out.
So, handy people are available online if you Google them rather than doing this yourself and setting yourself on fire.
It's just driving a nail. Anyway,
Speaking of on fire,
Trick
here's-
or Threat is on fire. Well played there, Holly.
Thank you.
No, Trick or Threat is Liar Liar
Oh.
Pants on Fire on his way to the penalty box. Lead jammer status is Princess Slayer.
So going from being on fire to being in flames, and it's the Barrow Infernos who are now racing ahead.
That was terrible.
Thank you.
That was brilliant.
Thank you. That pack just being pushed forwards, but that triangular wall still in motion. Shoulders through, Princess Leia able to get around, and that's Flash Bandicoot not quite able to whip the hold.
Coming in for a second pass now. The fourth blocker was being held as a goat and did almost as good a job blocking as the other three. You
We
know,
used to
that's how
call
you
that
play
the-
that role.
Yeah, we used to call it the shark position, so you just sit at the back and wait to take them out on your own.
Trick or Threat now with the stars down. Keep an eye. I don't
Ooh.
think they've been passed yet. They have not. But that
Oh.
was a good stealth jam.
It was Unusual to see though, Mannequin Beasts have not got reversible covers.
No, they don't.
So that could prove a little bit awkward if they do decide to pass at any point further on, or if the replacement goes on backwards. Something he was very, very clear, had a quick look to make sure he was putting it on the right way around before he put it on. But
I remember when those were first invented and everyone thought they were a pretty neat idea. And now you just said it like everyone should have one.
Absolutely.
Oh, we have an official timeout. It's official timeout brought to us by the officials. And now it's over.
So Barrow have managed to have a little mini explosion. The last three jams,
Ooh.
they've managed to clock up 21 points, 21 points.
That's almost half their points in the last three jams alone.
So they're leaping up now. Let's see if they can keep this momentum. It is being slowed down by Panda, who picks up lead jammer for Mannequin.
That's right. Panda now trying to work his way through the back of the pack. Nice job by Barrow's jammer of playing a little fifth blocker there for a moment.
Jardine, very solid blocker. Often plays his pivot for Barrow. Has been on a light rotation for the jammers in this game.
And the jam's going to be called off, picking up 5 for the Mannequin Beasts. Now, I'm not going to tell you why that name is a good pun. If you're interested, you should just Google it. And you will be remarkably entertained because it's genuinely funny.
Just Google Mannequin. I think,
yep, Mannequin Brussels. Like, you'll get it. It's funny. It's genuinely funny. Now we're having on the jammer line number 88, Trigger Threat, versus number 69, Princess Leia, unless that's a replay.
No, we're definitely going in. We've got 6 minutes left in this half. Ooh, Trickle Threat being knocked out, but not being recycled back. We have Frost Bandicoot up with Trickle Threat to provide that offensive assistance.
But we do have a cutting on Trick or Threat. Good recycle there. I'm trying to see who it was that executed that, but it was a great recycle on the outside. Blocker not involved in the block itself, but who was in front of the jammer just jetted backwards.
And this is the 6th power jam in favor of Barrow Infernos. Princess Leia being knocked into that wall.
And not only that, Princess Leia being knocked down by his own blocker, in essence.
And also a blocker penalty going to the Barrow. So not a very successful pass there, but this time around they do manage to get Princess Leia out. A little bit of agility work jumping over the legs of Mannequin by Princess Leia.
Trigger Threat back onto the track. Stars are down. Trying for a little stealth jam.
Yeah, Barrow split in half with just the 2 blockers, one in front, one behind. They've now both gone to the front. Princess has been recycled back, jumped back again, and that was by the Spaniard.
Keep in mind, Princess Leia still has lead. So this jam is not necessarily going the full 2 minutes. 4 points up there for Trick or Threat. Coach's hands are up. The signal is to call. Hasn't been seen. Oh, Trick or Threat leaps through the pack. That wasn't an apex jump. That was a straightaway jump. Holy cow. It's going to be 2 points for Barrow and 5 for Mannequin. And there's your score on the screen. Look at that. 95 plays, 52 with 4 minutes remaining.
Yeah, slightly scrappier jam there from both halves, but
yes,
they managed to pull it back and obviously get points in both of their favours. The favours still going towards Mannequins. We can see here just some...
There's that leap.
Slide through, but the points were collated.
So Nomad versus Hairtom Senna.
Hairtom Senna needs to be very careful. I think his feet were very close to going out there, and he has picked up a number of penalties.
They were, but what I loved about that is Hairtom Senna noticed that the blocker on the inside hadn't seen him, so he could easily slide up the outside. It's a no pass, no penalty for Nomad, which means Nomad, no lead.
No, very good.
Thank you.
Nomad passed the last blocker on his knee, so it was ineligible for the lead jammer status, despite having already previously passed him.
Hairtom Senna's pulled off the stars, so there will be no lead this jam. This jam going the full 2 minutes. But Nomad picking up 5, and Hairtom Senna recycled.
Mannequin Beast very much playing a defensive game when they have the jammer up. I say that now, watch the offensive play come in. Yeah.
We did have a star pass.
We
Panda
have.
now carrying him. Sorry.
That's okay. That is our first star pass of the game. Round comes Nomad on the inside, tries to catch in front of Panda so that Chob can regain advantage over him, but is unable to do so. And now both jammers coming around. This will be a first scoring pass for Panda, second for Nomad. Nomad taken out for a ride. Tries to leap the straightaway, but the shoulders of the Spaniard just takes him through. Tom Senna now picking up a penalty as a blocker.
Sorry, there was a little baby behind me. I had to wave at the baby.
As you have to do. Absolutely have to do.
So Panda now as the jammer. Herr Tom Senna, however, still picking up the 4th penalty. Doesn't matter that he's a blocker. He's now officially in penalty trouble.
He is. Panda manages to push through, and that will put the Mannequin Beasts in the triple digits.
Yes.
But a massive jam for the Barrow Infernos and Nomad.
There you go. 103 plays 66. Next jam will start with about a minute and a half remaining in the first half. And here, let's take another look at that. It was a nice attempted takeout there. I do love the blockers that try for a flying takeout. They rarely work.
But they look great.
Oh, we have an official review.
We do. Official review being called by the Barrow Infernos.
The sign of the donut.
I'll try and keep you updated.
There's a lovely shot of the head referee making the international sign of the donut. And this official review is going to be brought to us by Roller Derby City. Thank you to the amazing folks at Roller Derby City for providing the gorgeous officials and volunteer t-shirts. www.rollerderbycity.com. And also by Derby Duck, bringing you all the action from MEQ 2018 and a thumbs up. Derby Duck. This is where you sort of wish that the one camera could shoot the production crew and the other camera could shoot the other camera, so we can get a chance for them to wave.
They are waving.
They are waving.
You just have to imagine that they're waving.
I know.
Use your imagination. Just as you can imagine what we look like.
You know, they do that on the NFL broadcast for Thanksgiving, because all of the broadcasters had to miss their family Thanksgiving.
Aww.
So as a way of giving them a chance to do something nice, they pick about half of them get to send a video message to their family, and then they have the camera pan all of the people who are working the broadcast, and the commentators know them all. And so they'll be like, oh, and there's our touchdown cameraman, Larry. Hey, give us a wave, Larry. And, of course, he's on the radio, so he's waving from behind the massive camera. It's kind of nice. And then they go to the production truck, who, of course, don't have an opportunity to stop what they're doing and wave, because they're all working super hard. So we are still in this official review with a minute and a half remaining, minute 25 seconds. There you go.
You can give us an electronic wave by sending a tweet or hashtagging MEQ2018. Be lovely to see what's going on out there in the everywhere else world.
Because we're in Halifax.
We're in Halifax.
Which is still sometime in the 1970s.
Yeah, Halifax in Yorkshire, the UK, not Halifax in Canada.
Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia.
Every time you type in Halifax, it's like Nova Scotia. No.
No. No, not no.
Nope. The sun did come out a few minutes ago. It's away now.
You lie. This is the north.
Trick or Threat versus Roseblade in this what could be the last jam of the first half, depending on how long it goes. Little recycle on Trick or Threat. Trick or Threat just going to play it calm.
Bit of space given up at the front, but this is going to be a drag back
Oh.
on Roseblade by Murdoch. Now there's space. Can he get through? Stays on 1 foot.
And Trick or Threat,
Oh, no.
they're both cut. They both cut.
Wow.
This will be the last jam. They did both cut. Now, Trick or Threat, nice try, bud. He signaled, no, I didn't, but yes, you did. I saw it. Trick or Threat didn't think he cut because he jumped in behind the skater that knocked him out. However, skater on the inside line was moving backwards, not actually to recycle. was moving backwards to engage his offense and ended up getting cut. It was unexpected. Nonetheless, both jammers now into and out of the penalty box. Shortest switcheroo on record. And now in scoring position. Wow! Wow! Optical Zoom tried a flying takeout, just clipped the shoulder of the span. Oh, is it? No, it was Murdoch. Clipped the shoulder of Murdoch, which sent him sprawling to the track on turn 4. 4 points to the Mannequin Beast so far.
Rosebay still trying to push through.
Now it's 5 in the sky, so 9 plays nil in recorded points this jam.
Slightly steadier progress from the Barrow Jammer, but that patience pays off. 4 points now picked up for the Infernos.
Dynamo doing a nice little one-on-one defense there, locking down that Mannequin Beast jammer, who then just rotates to the outside.
Both jammers using some really good tricks here.
You know, you have to have great track awareness against somebody like Trick or Threat. If there's any space to the outside, he will use it. And that's the end of the half. Score is 116 versus 74. There you go, as we're going to halftime.
Yeah, we've got a 42-point difference at the moment, but I mean, Barrow have done a very good job of clawing points back throughout the second half of this first period.
Let's take a low look. There was that takeout in the far side you saw. There's the track crew in Burgundy fixing things up.
So we've had quite a few penalties on the jammers go to each side. 7 power jams given to Barrow, 5 given to Mannequin, but interestingly 4 jams where the lead has been lost.
That's right.
So it's been an interesting game.
It has been an interesting game
so far.
And I don't think anyone was quite sure where Mannequin Beast would stack up. And this is saying this tournament could be a little bit more interesting.
We're just going to give you the results of that last official review before we round off.
Yes, please.
Black team requested a cut to be issued to the purple jammer, saying they were hit out of bounds and re-entered in front of the initiator. Referees did not see this, so the no call stands. I've been Holly, still am Holly, and I will be Holly for the second half.
That one just annoys me. I've been Dave, and now I'm Steve. Like, wait, what?
Well, you're not Statman. Now that is confusing. Statman and Holly here, signing out for
Hello.
the first half. We'll see you back in just over 12 minutes' time.
All right, and welcome back to the second half of coverage of the Mannequin Beast versus Barrow Infernos Game 3 from MEQ 2018, as well as a free lesson on building regulations, thanks to Holly Sheet. My name is Statman.
And I am Holly. Always have, always will be.
Thank you for correcting that. This is a continual state, not.
Well,
we're not using a past perfect here.
I do, you know, a flow between matters. We're going to be checking in on the second half of Mannequin Beasts taking on Barrow Infernos. Barrow Infernos in the black, Mannequin Beasts in purple.
If their skate out music isn't start wearing purple, like they need to correct that.
So we left the game with Barrow Infernos on 74 points, Mannequin Beasts on 116.
Look at that purple jersey. It's not even flat purple.
No.
There's an underprint going on.
There is. It's very geometric.
Yes, I like it.
So Barrow just started to pick up a little bit more pace towards the final 10-15 minutes of the previous half. Mannequin fairly solid throughout, in particular when we take a look at Trick or Threat number 88. Purple 88, who is currently starting on the slick, not just quick jam line.
And keep in mind, Herr Tom Senna, number 14, is sitting on 4 penalties. So just FYI for those of you keeping track at home. And speaking of Trick or Threat, two blockers to beat up at the front of the pack, picks up lead.
Very quick lead in there as well. Very solid jammer. Trick or Threat has been the on-off jammer for Mannequin Beasts and has with the exception of, I think, one jam, he scored every time. And then that one jam, sorry, 2 jams where he's not scored. One of those, he still retained lead.
Oh, Duke of York picking up an illegal blocking penalty. So Trick or Threat able to just skate forward instead of being recycled.
Duke of York picking up 2 penalties now for his insubordination, not leaving the track swiftly enough. In fact, he skated the entire straightaway and half of the apex before removing himself.
And there goes the insub penalty up onto our digital board.
We did have Optical Zoom jamming. First time he's jammed in this game.
But it's 9-zip in favor of the Mannequin Beasts on that jam. And here's a good downstairs look. Look at that nice little move up the outside. It's nice having 2 angles, isn't it?
It's great. We're able to see all around on this track thanks to the production from Derby Duck.
Absolutely. Derby Duck doing such a good job bringing us this broadcast today. We have Herr Tom Senna against Jardine. Herr Tom Senna getting out, but picking up a no pass, no penalty, so not lead. Lead is still open.
Herr Tom Senna very, very cautious about returning to the track as well when he was knocked out. So I think words have certainly been had with regards to him trying to stay cleaner during this game.
Herr Tom Senna left the track when it was someone else's penalty.
Oh dear. Jardine has removed the star. However, Roseblade, the pivot, was at the very rear of the pack, comes in to provide the offensive play.
Oh, Herr Tom Senna taking a double spin there.
Scuffled down to the ground, but bounced straight back up.
The Stars are down on Barrow, as you said.
Well, they are still playing very much the defensive side, so trying to stop Herr Tom Senna. Roseblade comes back in now, perhaps trying to see if they can sneak around a star pass around there. It does indeed, around the outside.
Round the outside. Round the outside. Well, remember, this is run as a round robin league, so points difference matters. It makes sense every so often to just hunker down and play a little defense, guard your points difference.
Very tricky, however, when you've only got 2 blockers on track and your jammer is very deep in a 4 wall of the opposition.
It's, the 2 jammers decided to have a sit-down conversation there.
Just a little break and play.
Have a cup of tea. Speaking of, my tea now cold enough to drink.
Points all round at the moment. Herr Tom Senna is on his 4th scoring pass, whereas Roseblade on his 2nd. That jam now called to an end. Good work there by Nomad in a blocking position. So 5 points for Barrow, 19 points for the Mannequin Beasts.
Also, I love the Mannequin Beasts vector art logo. It looks like the logo from a video game from like 1987, doesn't it? Here you go. There's a nice view skating into the pack. Herr Tom Senna getting blocked almost straight across the apex. Unable to just keep skating. Remember, folks, if you're trying to hit the jammer down, make sure you don't also hit them forward.
You're just assisting in their maneuvers. Oh.
Ooh, good words. You get words points.
I did words. So, Trick or Threat has broken free out at the front, but lead was already awarded to Optical Zoom, but he got collared up in that pack again.
Optical Zoom did a great job breaking free, and then 2 skaters from Mannequin Beast just blasted forward and reformed that wall before he had a chance to move forward. There's that vector art logo again for you. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Trick or Threat now up against number 69. That's Princess Leia. Trick or Threat thought he could hold it on the inside line. Couldn't quite. Princess Leia picking up lead.
That's 2 leads in a row now for Barrow Infernos.
Going straight into this 3-wall. Spaniard with a quick tap out, but of course not much of a recycle there. It's just control defense. It's not a recycle defense they're playing. Oh!
Was that a collected point?
Yes, it was. It's going to be 4.
1 point snuck in by Mannequin Beast as well.
So it's 145, plays 83. Thank you for stepping back there.
Weeble, the mirror coach for Barrow Infernos.
Weeble. We got Hair Tom Senna against Jardine back here on the jammer line. I'm sure Jardine sounds far more interesting in my accent than yours.
Jardine.
Jardine. It almost sounds like a
Jolene.
reasonable. I was gonna Jardine. Sorry. And Jardine picking up that coveted lead jammer status.
Lovely jump over the feet, round the outside. Not a very easy move to make, but he made it look nice and simple.
Oh, yes.
Lead's currently definitely in favour of Barrow as we go into this second half. And the call is in time.
You know, you're absolutely right. Barrow have picked up a lot of leads in these first 6-7 minutes of the second half. They just haven't been able to convert them into shed loads of points. Whereas when the Beasts get some leads, they're converting them into 7 to 10 point jams.
Definitely up in the double figures for the majority of their passes.
Now here's another look. Keep an eye on that little takeout on Jardine up that outside line. Well done by the Spaniard in that recognizable red helmet.
Princess Leia now up against Triple Threat. These two have, as you said, faced off a number of times already in this game. It's gone in favour of both of them at varying degrees. And this pack is starting to move, and that definitely plays into the hands of both of them. Triple Threat just knocked down to the infield. He's taking his time, literally pulling his socks up as he gets back up.
and taking the chance to lobby the officials for a forearms call while down there. You know, there are ways to lobby the officials to make a call. That's probably not one of them.
No. I definitely recommend using your official review. However, lead has been collected. Mannequin Beasts now lead. Triple Threat, the only jammer for the team to pick up lead in this half. However, he has jammed 4 out of the 6 jams that we've had so far.
Ooh, nice little work back skating there. Picked up all of them and is now killing the clock for a minute. He's going to call him off.
It's dangerous territory to be in to kill a clock this early on in the half.
No. That's good. It's good clock management. He already had all 4 points. He's not going to come around for another pass. Might as well just wait it out.
He was, off track, I agree with you. However, he was on track. So it's the danger of just standing around whilst there are other players is he could take a heavy hit whilst he's unprepared.
Oh, that's
for it.
True. No,
so
that's very
that
true.
was literal dangerous territory for him to be in whilst clock burning.
And here's another view. And we're set. We got Hair Tom Senna up against number 289, Dynamo.
First time jamming this weekend.
And first time picking up lead. First time is a charm. Dynamo coming into play. Ooh, nice footwork up that inside line. Picking up 5.
Where have they been hiding him?
Really?
Well, at the front of the pack, he's been playing a lot of defensive play.
But you know, this is one of the things that when your team is behind, change something. And it's not actually that important what you change. Just change your rotation, change whether you're at front or back. Shoot, change your socks. Just change something. Well, it's an old baseball rule. If you need to change your luck, change your socks.
And we can certainly sell you socks if you're looking out at some of our vendors here today. We can point you in the direction of Double Threat Skates.
Over there.
They're also available online, so if you check out doublethreatskates.com.
Blah, 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 blah.
Sometimes I can word.
Talking.
Sometimes I don't.
Talking. Princess Leia up against Trick or Threat, wearing the stars. Nice little clear out by Flash Bandicoot. And there's a cutting penalty by somebody. Still waiting to see who.
Trick or Threat.
No, it's flat.
No.
It's the Spaniard. I thought it was going to be a blocker from that clear out, and lead jammer status going to Princess Leia.
Princess just goes plowing through.
Calls it off and picks up 4. And there's a little moment for the medics. Score of 195 plays 150 with just under 20 minutes remaining. Thank you, Weeble, for stepping back. And it's DEFCON John, who just took a little bit of a knock there, stayed on a knee and said, can I just have a chat with the folks in green?
Yeah, I think there may be a bit of claret. I think that's why it's been called to a stop.
Oh, yeah.
Once again, thank you to our medical events team, which is MB Events. They're looking after us this entire weekend.
And they've got a nice little tent set up where they can treat people with a degree of privacy.
Yeah, which is nice to have.
I think that was a good move. I've
Yeah.
never seen that at an indoor event. I was like, ooh, that's good. Also, being a Derby medic is a special calling.
Very specialty, very specialist subject.
And it looks like, who is that, 2020? Is that Optical Zoom being escorted off by the medics? Here's a shot of the audience.
Yeah, he does look like he's carrying an ice pack in one hand, so
Yeah.
I think a little bit of treatment just being issued.
Got a little dinged up.
It's great to see we've got quite a few people here today from various Derby leagues across the UK out in support here for the Men's European Qualifiers 2018. And of course, hello to everybody watching and listening in. It's great to have you here. So we are going to have a slight pause in game.
Out. Look at that.
Whilst the sun's out, we're going to pause the game. No, we're just going to have a pause in game whilst we do clear up the track. There is a little bit of spillage.
There was a nice shot there of the Spaniard cooling his heels in the penalty box. Yep, they patched it up the bridge of his nose. And they're going to get the, yeah, they're just getting it clean. You know, I remember when I was a kid and sports weren't fussy about bloodborne pathogens and everything. I don't think it was better. I think that was probably far worse.
Yes.
Especially when every so often somebody would be running and they'd slip on blood.
On something spilled, yeah. Well, knowledge is power, and we're going to use that power to ensure that we're keeping everybody here fit, healthy, and safe.
Absolutely. Medical team doing a great job. Trying to think where it was. It was some tournament in the US or Canada that the medical team were all wearing red, and all of the European skaters were going, wait, aren't there supposed to be medics? Where are the medics? This makes no sense. It's like, they're right over there. Oh, nice recycle job by the Nomad back here.
And a good stretched out pack gives space at the front, and Jardine is through.
This has been a great string of leads for Barrow. This half, they have changed it.
They have, but as you said, they're not picking up massive points whilst they're doing so. But I think the control of the game certainly is working for them. They've gone from being half the points of Mannequin to just coming up to 2/3.
Oh, great work. Great work by Hertom Senna, knowing exactly where the cut line was and sneaking in, not giving that wall enough time to catch him. They set up in the middle of the track, which turned out to be an error. Sorry.
I was going to say he's doing good to keep clean. So far, Hertom Senna has not picked up a penalty in this half, which is great, considering he picked up 4 in the previous.
There you go, a 52-point lead. 18.5 minutes remaining.
But Barrow have managed to keep Mannequin to 0 points in the last 3 jams.
That's important.
That is really important, and that's 5 out of the jams, 9 jams that they've had this half that have been a 0 score for Mannequin.
Well, and importantly to me, Barrow have been playing a much cleaner game this half. Lead jammer status now for Dynamo.
That's a 100% lead jam status for that skater.
2 for 2. Where were you that first half? This is a heck of a game, folks. Panda's taken the stars off, but nonetheless still carries them. I can say that because we're on the feed.
You can indeed.
Oh, Barrow picking up some blocker penalties.
Now, Duke of York's just gone in. He needs to be careful. He's now on 6 penalties.
That's right. It has gone from yellow to red on our little digital penalty board. Isn't that nice?
Ooh.
We got a digital penalty board. Its name is Earth. Clearly, its parents were hippies.
And it's working in conjunction with Venus. Which is our other penalty tracking device. So that jam comes to an end. Again, 0 points for Malikan. And Barrow Inferno is able to break into the triple digits. We're now on 103 points, place 150. This is slowly but surely a good way to grind down on that team. Barrow do have the energy reserves. If they can play this long and slow game, they'll be able to work their way back up and be back in contention for this game.
The question is, at this scoring rate, is there enough time in the game? The Princess Leia going to take a chance, picking up lead jammer status. Trick or Threat now out of the pack and coming around. 4 points up there for Princess Slayer. And the coaching staff says skate on.
Skate on.
Trick or Threat, nice cutting left and right. Deciding to take a chance and picking up 5, 4, 5, a number of points. Meantime, it was a high block. I saw that and almost said face mask.
Face mask.
It was a face mask.
It's the rock and roller.
It's rock and roll. But now Trick or Threat is on a solo jam.
So it hasn't played off in favor of Barrow running that jam long. They have now lost control, and it's a dangerous jammer to have out there to just give all that free reign to.
Now that is only the 3rd penalty for Princess Slayer, so no penalty board concerns right now with that jammer. But as you say, Trick or Threat is a threat. Picking up another 5 in the sky. You know, I had never said 5 in the sky until someone showed me announcer bingo, and I'm like, I'm going to use all those things.
I call it a high five.
It's a diet pack. All right. I remember a few years ago they tried to get nickel to stick.
Nickel?
Because in America, that's a 5-cent coin is a nickel.
No.
And they're like, oh, it's 5, it's a nickel.
It's a shilling.
Ooh. There's another 4 for Trick or Threat. But you're absolutely right. That penalty cost them control of this jam. It's now on 18 plays 4.
Trick or Threat just checking the time.
Should I recycle? No, there's no point.
8 to 18. No, 8 to 23.
That's right.
Wow.
Look at that. 173 plays 111. Just past the 3/4 mark in this game.
So Barrow have gone from holding Mannequin. Let's just have a quick look at this. Move by Trick or Threat. He's stumbled through a few times but managed to collect the points. So 5 jams previously, they'd only scored 5 points.
And we have the international sign of the donut from Barrow Infernos. That's an official review for those of you who don't get my bad humor.
So 23 points in the last jam fight by Trick or Threat. In this half alone, with the exception of the 9 points, the 10 points that Trick or Threat put up in the first 4 jams, they've only scored 23 points.
Jeez.
So he's managed to bring on board. I mean, Trick or Threat has scored the majority of the points in this game for Mannequin Beasts. Because he is playing their primary jammer, he's on every other jam, with the exception of we've had Panda as a break jammer, reserve jammer here. The opposition jammer for this half has been, the alternate jammer this half has been Hair Tom Senna. So those two have just been doing shift on, shift off.
Take a look at the first half. There were more jams for Panda.
There were indeed. He's just being used as a reserve jammer in this half. Whereas him and Hair Tom Senna were exchanging that second jammer slot.
Something tells me that if they didn't have the travel woes they had, we would see a much different team.
We've had 8 lead jams go in Barrow's favour in this half, and they've been in flurries as well. It's not just been the odd one. They've had groups of 3, groups of 5, and definitely bringing on board the brand new jammer in the shape of Dynamo has given them that invigoration to kind of just go and get those points. The last jam that we've just seen, being the first time that they've lost that control in the last 10 minutes.
All right, it looks like this official review is coming to a wrap-up. I'd like to take a moment just to thank our officials. Duncan Disorderly, Fair Enough, Jens Hüttger, Big Smack and Fries, Wonder Zebra, Glenmore Angry, Judge Red, Victoria Velociraptor are on wheels, Lindsay Needles, Halo Jones, Joe Kerr, Emka, Crystal Weiss, Mademoiselle, Sarah Wilkins, Annika Weiss, Polo Kiwi, Ablocalypse Pow, Gorier Estefan, and X-Ray Ted off wheels.
Well done.
What?
There's some brilliant derby names going
There
on.
really are. I love a good derby name. Herr Tom Senna and Nomad both forced to recycle simultaneously. In fact, the blockers doing the recycling played each other to try to get an advantage, which you don't often see. It did, of course, necessitate skating forward momentarily to make that block, to then continue recycling. Herr Tom Senna with 2 to beat. It gets one of those blocks, one of those launched through the pack blocks. So Herr Tom Senna with lead.
Yeah, Nomad doing a good job on the no pass, no penalty to ensure he can go back on and sneak around the outside whilst Mannequin were trying to do that pullback on him. He's back in the pack now. Is he in a scoring position? He picks up 1 and 1 to all. A 1-1.
It's 1-1.
It's like a football score.
Yeah, it is. Barrow Infernos 1. Mannequin Piece 1. We're just going to get the results of that official review fairly soon. In the meantime, it looks like we're going to have Panda lining up against Princess Leia.
Yep, second jump for Panda in this half.
Yeah, I think it's that time to just give your primary 2 a rest. Panda with 3 to beat up at the front. Princess Slayer with a couple at the back, but Panda picks up lead.
I think, as you said earlier, Statman, the time is just about dripping away for Barrow to be able to come back into this game. They do need a number of high-scoring jams to be still in contention, and to get those, they need to be in control.
They really do, and getting lead right now, more than getting points for Mannequin, is really all they need.
Yeah. Just hold that control, play the slow game if you want to. Star pass from Princess Leia over to Jardine.
Oh, are we doing it the French way? Jardine.
Jardine.
Oh, it's Jardine.
Jardine.
Jardine. Oh, and we have the results from the official review, please.
Yeah, Black asked for a cut penalty to Purple Jammer. Purple Jammer only touched out of bounds with 1 arm, no call stands.
Brilliant. Thank you, Holly. Thank you to our assistant back here.
Apex is assisting us today on this call.
Thank you, Apex. You can't hear. She's right there. And also can't see because, of course, there's no camera on us, which is a good thing. Definitely didn't do my makeup this morning.
Oh. Dynamo. 3rd time on, 3rd time lead.
Now this is what, again, why wasn't this person not jamming in the first half?
Definitely a secret weapon. And every time getting lead against Trick or Threat.
Remember when you were a kid and the term secret weapon was like the coolest thing? It's like the 2 coolest things were secret weapons and secret passages.
Well, let's see if these jammers can find secret passages through the pack in the next jam. 2 points picked up by Dynamo. Princess Leia now lining up on the slick, not just quick jammer line. And is going to be facing off against Herr Tom Senna.
And there you saw an ad for the MRDA Champs, which will be the 12th to 14th of October in Salem, Oregon, hosted by the MRDA and Bridgetown Roller Derby. Keep in mind, Salem's just a short drive from Portland. It's really going to be fun to go to. That's going to be a hell of a tournament up in the Pacific Northwest. Meantime, we have got Princess Leia against Herr Tom Senna. I believe you said that.
I did, but I won't be upset if you repeat it because I think it's useful for
It's
people
important.
to know. Yeah,
It's important.
This is exactly what's happening.
Herr Tom Senna is going to go have a seat in the Kula.
Oh dear, that puts him on yellow. That is 5 penalties for Herr Tom Senna. That's another cutting allocated to him.
Oh, and now there's a cutting on Princess Slayer, which means we're going to have a jammer switcheroo.
Princess Leia on 4 penalties. both jammers could do with being a little bit more aware of their penalty status.
Well, with 10 minutes remaining in the game, am I that contagious? You just said status.
Yes. Well, I'm sure you would take the mickey out of me for saying it in any other manner.
Oh, absolutely. We are now under 10 minutes remaining, so penalty trouble will still be a thing.
Yep,
Jardine. You have to keep it in mind. And Hairtom Senna waits. This is clever roller derby.
Yes.
Just waits because he heard the whistle. Who's the call going to be on? Oh, it's on the skater that recycled me. Wait for them to leave the track so there's no confusion, and boom. That was well played. 3 points with a no pass, no penalty for Hairtom Senna and the Mannequin Beasts.
Princess now back in the pack, being held up very effectively by the Spaniard. Breaks around the outside line just at the same time as Hairtom Senna breaks through that infield as well, just jumping through slightly. Points now still being collected by Mannequin Beast. This will be a scoring pass for Princess Leia. 1 point collected for the Barrow Infernos.
Pretty much right on the whistle there. It was a case of the clock versus Barrow Infernos more than Mannequin Beasts on that final pass. Let's take another look at this. Keep an eye down here on the bottom. Look at that spinning takeout on Dynamo. There's a timeout called by the Mannequin Beasts. Timeout brought to you by, as I said, the Mannequin Beasts. And also brought to you by Manchester Roller Derby. Thanks to our hosts, Manchester Roller Derby, for organizing MEQ 2018. And their sponsored charity is manchestermind.org.
Do check them out. They do some wonderful work for the people of Manchester. They've been the charity for Manchester Roller Derby for this season. So we will continue to support them all the way through to the end of the calendar year and potentially beyond.
Right.
If you wish to make a donation, please do log on manchestermind.org. There are collection buckets and a Manchester Mind store here at the venue, which is really nice to see.
And so what sort of charity are they?
They work in alignment with the Mind charities, who are there for mental health difficulties and any concurrent sort of concussion injuries, brain injuries, those kind of issues. And they're very good at providing counselling, supportive care, and basically doing a wonderful job.
Excellent.
Also doing a wonderful job with the skaters on the track right now.
Panda and Nomad. Panda skating backwards, not having been forced, just sort of accepting it. And now picking up lead jammer status, which means Nomad is not lead, but we have a jammer match race, taking us back to the old Seltzer days of roller derby. Nomad went airborne, but wouldn't pick up any because he took off after the whistle.
Yeah, it's the old Back to the Future number plate, out of time. Out of time there, Nomad.
There you go. 189 plays 115. Again, sorry about the scoreboard issues to those of you watching back at home. Apparently, we're going to have them fixed tomorrow because it involves having to reset the router, having to phone somebody, having to get in the assistants, get rid of the gremlins, and also sacrifice a goat. And the goats are really hard to get this time of day.
Not a roller derby goat. I think if we just appease with wine and gifts, it might still work.
Yeah, one of the production staff just gave me a look. He's like, come on, we could just get a chicken. Chickens are plenty good enough in this instant.
You do not have to make any sacrifices of any animals, living or stuffed. I can guarantee you that we will not be harming animals.
Well, did you ever see the movie Major League?
I did not.
There's one point where the guy says, well, we need to sacrifice a chicken to change our luck. So they bring him a bucket of KFC. It's just like
it'll work. It'll work.
The production team over there is like, yes, get the KFC bucket. Other forms of fried chicken are available.
They are indeed.
Sorry, I just went off the rails for a moment there.
A little bit there. We're back into what we can see. 115 plays 195. We've got 6.5 minutes left in this game. Mannequin Beasts look like they are storming away with this now. Can Barrow pull out some big figure jams to put themselves back in play? And again, as we said, Statman, it's not just about the wins, it's going to be about points too.
Points difference are so vital. Dynamo picking up lead. There was a star pass for the Mannequin Beasts already. Hair Tom Senna no longer wearing the stars. Murdoch now carrying them. But Dynamo with lead, got recycled, still has lead.
Again, still 100% lead for Dynamo. This is Murdoch's first time jamming in this tournament. Short, sharp and sweet.
Dynamo picking up one.
How many?
One.
So Dynamo has also scored every time that he's been out on track as well.
That was a real secret weapon there. Jardine against Panda. Let's take another look at this.
This is the apex and down.
that was a beautiful. Too bad I couldn't stick the landing.
At the end of the jam, you know you're just going to be going for the points regardless.
Whoa! Sit
huge.
down, my son. Duke of York versus Panda. But lead jammer status going to Jardine of the Barrow Infernos.
Jardine pulling a few more jams in this half than he did in the first half. Maybe again something that Barrow were just trying to hold back for the second half play.
Sometimes you just have to change things if they're not going well. Find something and change it.
As you said, I'll change my wig. Things aren't going well. I have new hair.
There you go. You need to change your luck, change your socks. But it's going to be a cutting penalty against Panda. He's having a seat in the penalty box.
This gives full control now to Barrow. They have a power jam and our lead. Some good footwork there by Jardine to just sort of balance his way around the inside.
Went in hard into that wall, too. He loves a good solid block, doesn't he?
Barrow going to try and break apart the mannequin wall. Unfortunately, that looks like Flash Bandicoot was actually pushed into Jardine.
I think you're right.
Jam called.
Froze Panda in the box, though.
Yes. Which will be very helpful.
And a couple of them coming over to high-five Panda. Now let's see who they put on to pivot. Is this an instance where you use your pivot to just become the new jammer right away? And it doesn't look like it. Their pivot is lining up in a defensive position. I can't see who it is. Whoa, their pivot is getting bashed about. It's Flash Bandicoot, by the way.
He's currently off track. Nomad making sure Panda comes in as far away from the pack as possible.
With that advantage quickly eaten up. I wonder sometimes whether it's actually worth it, because some of these instances, it bought less than half a second.
It can be sometimes just the amount of time you need. But it can also be just asserting your dominance over the other players as well.
Oh, that I fully believe. Meantime, Nomad does an excellent job pushing Panda to the inside.
Forcing him to do a press-up.
And now going all the way to the back of the engagement zone. The big words like engagement zone. Forcing Panda to get by me again.
Oh, and one more time, but that's a 4-on penalty issued out to Dynamo. And lead after a minute.
Yes.
Going to Princess Leia.
It was over a minute, and now Princess Slayer picking up lead jammer status. There has been a star pass now. Flash Bandicoot carrying the stars for the Mannequin Beast. Keep an eye on that stripe at the moment. The stripe has the star. A Spaniard tries a running takeout. Can't quite get up. Princess Leia picking up 5.
Oh, 4-on penalty on Princess Leia. Came in a little bit too heavy, leaning forwards. Used his arms to balance himself off of the mannequin players and picks up a penalty for his actions.
Flash Bandicoot working hard to get out of the pack, but you know, it almost makes you wonder with less than under 10 seconds left. and you're on an initial pass. Like, what are you doing right now? Oh, we have a timeout. Timeout called by the Barrow Infernos. I had to look up and see who's sitting on this bench.
Yeah, we've got just under a minute and a half. Let's have a quick look back at what's gone on in the start of that previous jam. A good hit from that start line, but not enough to I mean, that back wall still closing in. So, just under a minute and a half, and a timeout called. They are looking to extend the time, looking to extend their play.
That's
they do
right.
still have a timeout remaining, so if this is a very quick jam, they can sneak in another one. Question is, and that applies to both teams, the question is, do they want to?
Well, this one, keep in mind, is starting as a power jam in favor of the Mannequin Beasts. So if the Mannequin Beasts pick up lead, they could just ride out the clock.
They can indeed.
It's one of those where you let yourself get blocked out of bounds and just camp out.
The other possibility they have is, if they do want to go and see if they can extend their points, is they call it just before the end of the period clock and get another jam in.
Although when you're on a short roster, you probably don't want to push it.
It's a tough decision.
It is.
It'll fall down to probably to their bench staff.
And according to our penalty board, happily named Venus here, the Duke of York is in the most trouble on 6, followed by Princess Leia on 5, and Herr Tom Senna also on 5.
It's just Beermat at the moment, who has not yet been seated in the penalty box.
Trick or Threat now picking up lead. See, every time I see that name right there, I think of that awful disco song, I'm your Venus, I'm your fire. Every single time.
And I guess that one is Earth, Wind and Fire for our
Yes.
two machines that we've got, Venus and Earth, giving us all our penalty information.
Say, do you remember?
I don't think you're allowed to sing online, Statman. Not purely for copyright reasons, but just please don't sing.
Oh, I was going to say the copyright bots would not pick up that I'm attempting to sing a copyrighted song.
Both jammers breaking from the pack about the same time. Triple Threat seems to have a little bit more legs on him, though, as he's just managing to pull away. There's about 8
Just a
feet
little.
between the two.
Trick or Threat, though, not rushing to catch up to the pack.
Not at all.
Save the energy. It's the end of the game, and you have to ride out this jam. See, just check the clock. Pretty sure the instructions were you have to play this jam until the period ends. So Trick or Threat not picking up a cut. So this is going to be the last jam, which Trick or Threat will enjoy the rest of from the penalty box.
Question now is, how many points can Barrow claw back? Period clock has zeroed out. We've got 30 seconds left.
And the Mannequin Beasts have gone the double century. Nope, and Princess Slayer also on the way to the penalty box. So jammer switcheroo in the final 10 seconds of the game, which does put Princess Slayer in penalty trouble, but that's not really a problem.
Not that relevant right now.
Not relevant right now. And there's 5 more points. And we're going to wait for the score to go official before we talk about it. Well, it's on camera, though. There's Tomahawk. Everybody say hi, Tomahawk. Oh, boy. And here's a replay.
It's a catch, almost a catch there.
Oh,
by-
spinny spin. And there's the cut.
I think the cut happened just before that move was just signaled
think you're
through.
right. And it's gone official. 2:11. 2:11 plays 1:44. So your winners are the Mannequin Beasts.
They are. So we're on a 2-3 there. So 3-2 in favour of Mannequin Beast.
Yes,
Near enough.
near enough. Good math.
Well,
Good mathing.
very quick. I didn't have a calculator. I fortunately have additional digits. Obviously my toes to be able to count through. Yeah, very interesting game there. So we had a lot of interaction between the two teams, which resulted in a flurry of penalties across the board for both sides, and of course quite a few power jams for both sides as well.
Yes.
Biggest jam of the game is shared. Mannequin Beasts, it is Trick or Threat sharing it with himself. on 23 points. Over for the Barrow side, their biggest jam is 14 points, and that was scored by Nomad and Princess, so they share that tally as well.
Well, I think with Mannequin Beast, people weren't exactly sure what to expect coming into this tournament, and they've certainly made a statement here that they are a team to be considered.
Absolutely. Coming in, like you said, travelling quite a distance, bringing a smaller roster, but still putting up a very impressive game. Props definitely for me goes out to Trick or Threat. With the very occasional exception, he's been one-on-one off jamming.
Well, and Mannequin Beast showing why it's important to come out swinging.
Definitely.
That first half, they built up just such a comfortable position that it was going to be hard to bring them to rein him back in, you know?
Barrow had maybe a 10-minute gap where it was in their favour just after the beginning of the second half, but Mannequin very comfortably pulling it back towards the way they wanted it to go. Really interesting to watch. What is also interesting to watch here at the Men's European Qualifiers 2018 will be the next game. This is one of our exhibition games this weekend.
Hey, Expo game.
Exhibition game. We're going to see the Jensen Pink, who appear to be in white, which is rather confusing.
That is rather confusing.
The Jensen Pink in white, who will be playing against one of the host teams from the hosting league. They'll be playing against New Wheeled Order.
So we'll see you back fairly soon for that game. And until then, I'm Statman.
And I'm Holly.
And we'll see you later.